Chris King. I'm one of the master bat makers from Gray-Nicolls down in Robertsbridge, and I've been asked to talk a bit about concaving and the reasons we do it and what the benefits are. So with a cricket bat, mostly a lot of people now are kind of moving away from the concaving because they believe they're getting a lot more power with a fuller amount of willow in the bat. Now the problem as a bat maker is you're constantly struggling to get the weight down to a usable weight but maintain the power of the bat. So if you're asking for large edges and a full shaped bat, the majority of willow will mean that you're going to get a heavy bat. So the concaving allows us to take out some of that weight to get the bat down to a more approachable weight. Most people now are using a sort of 2.8, 2.9. Now the art of concaving is to remove the weight but maintain the profile size and also the structural strength. So there is an advantage of having a lot of willow in a fuller shaped bat, and what that does is if you hit the ball off centre, the flexible nature of willow means that actually it will bend and twist with the force. So you will lose some power when the ball's hit off centre because there's not much structure there to stop that twisting action that happens in the blade. If you have a full shaped bat, the massive structure in that piece of willow is more resilient to that twist. Now, what you're trying to do with a concave is a bit of engineering. You're trying to lose the weight, but this curve is going to act a bit like the arches in a bridge and keep the structural rigidity of the blade so that when you hit one of these off-centre shots, you still get that power back to the ball. So a lot of people have got, like I say, a lot of people have gone off the concaving. It's a bit of a fashion to kind of go to a fuller shaped bat, but really it still is a very good technique at maintaining power for the off-centre strikes while losing that hard to lose weight that we have in a lot of bats now with the clefts willow. So we've had some tests done with Imperial College up in London, and the engineers there did a lot of tests on various bats, and one of the best bats they found for that rigidity, where if you hit the ball there, the bat doesn't move too much like that, was in fact the scoop. So that goes against all of what people believe with the mass of wood being necessary to inflict that power. What that is it's that classic arch shape, that engineering shape used in things like bridges and doorways and all that sort of thing, classic piece of engineering. That maintains the blade's rigidity to return the power on off-centre hitting. So don't be put off if you see concave bats. They are made for a reason. It's lightweight, it's structural strength that they're after rather than just mass.
Can I ask you where you've got people asking for bats to say about 2.7, 2.8,
yep.
And they want the fuller profile and not concaved? Is that possible?
It is, but first of all, the piece of willow that you'll need to make such a bat to maintain a certain size would have to be very light to start with. Also, you'll find with a fuller shaped bat to low weight, you're going to lose edge size. Now, I personally will go along with the belief that edge size has very little to do with physical power of the bat. What the edge size tends to do is it gives you that structural rigidity that we talked about, but also adds a bit of confidence to the player, and that's not to be underplayed. The confidence of how a player uses their bat is incredibly important in a professional sport. So yeah, if you're asking for a light bat with a fuller shape, it's going to be difficult to find. It's going to be difficult for me as a maker to actually find the willow light enough to make it. So it's a rare thing. That is why most cricket bats today that have got the larger profiles will have concaving to get the weight down to a usable level.
So where you're looking at a full profile bat, you're probably looking at what, 210 plus?
Yeah. I mean, we've just had Luke Wright in the workshop today, and his bats are very large, but he's a big fan of the fuller profile bat, especially his IPL bat. Now, his normal weight is about 2.8, 2.8.5. His IPL bat, which is bigger and fuller, is 210.
Right.
But he's willing to accept that extra weight because, first of all, he trusts me as a bat maker to make it pick up light, to make it feel lighter, but also that he knows the science behind the physics of it hitting the ball further. More weight gives you more power. So if he wants to put it faster and harder over the rope, he's going to use a heavier bat. And also, Luke believes that he doesn't mind using a heavier bat for 2020 because he's not at the crease as long as an all-day match.
Great, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
VKF.com. Thanks a lot.